Hi, my name is Linda Hoskinson, and this is
Mike
Hoskinson. We run a rescue called Wild at Heart, and we're here today doing a video for the Pickens County Library System. So we wanted to first introduce you to, I guess Skeeter is our first animal here that we're going to show, and he's waiting on his cookie bites here. But I'll let Mike tell you a little bit about Skeeter.
Okay, Skeeter is a red fox. He's been with us 8 years. He came to us from another rehabber who took him in when he was just a pup. And when the pup was about 8 or 10 months old, that rehabber passed away. And since the fox was already habituated to humans, we took him in because we didn't think he would be able to be released. So he's living his life out here and does school and library programs. Like I say, he is a red. He has excellent eyesight. And if you'll notice, he's got slit pupils like a cat, and that's why he can see so well. Normally, in the wild, foxes live about 3 or 4 years is their normal lifespan. Sometimes in captivity, they'll live 10 or 12 years just like a dog because they are canids. They'll eat, they're omnivores. They'll catch in the wild, they'll catch mice, and they'll eat insects. They'll eat some fruit and berries, that kind of stuff. So they got a pretty varied diet. They usually live in a burrow in the ground. They'll make a den out of that, an animal, especially something that an animal has moved out of, hollow logs, any place like that, especially underground where it's a little bit cooler because they can catch food and store that food where it's cool and it doesn't spoil.
Hi. She's got. Oh, thank you.
All right, I wanted to show a few of our tiniest babies that we're rehabbing right now. And these are little skunks. They're about 3 weeks old. Their eyes are just now opening. These two right here came in. Their mom was killed, so they came out of their den and we were able to get them. And that little guy right there was being played with by a man's dog, just, playing with it. So he's a little bit nervous still. Right now we have 26 baby skunks. And it's a very busy time, for us this time of year when the skunks start coming in. I think last year we had around 65, 1 year 80 something. And I'm not bragging because I would like to stop right now. This would be plenty. And they do have different markings on them. They're not all marked exactly the same. And their tails are a little bit different.
Skunks can hold, they got 2 glands on each side of inside of their anus that they squeeze to spray. And that will hold about 15 cc's. It's quite a bit of medicine.
Oh, yeah.
So when they do a squirt, they can do about 5 or 6 squirts in succession before they run out. But it's some potent stuff.
Yeah.
And then it takes about 10 days for them to rebuild that where they can do it again. So skunks really don't want to spray. They go to all ends not to. But you provoke them enough, you'll get it.
If they spray, then they don't have a defense until they get it built back up. So, yeah, if they really get scared or something. Skunks don't have very good eyesight. They can't see very far in front of them, but they can hear real well and they can smell real well. So you could probably just walk by a skunk and, unless you made noise or something, it's not even going to know you're there.
Yeah, they say skunks can only see about 10 feet and they really kind of see blur. So if something passes in front of them and they're within their side of vision and it's slow moving blur, it doesn't seem to affect them. But if it's something zipping around real fast,
something
they get
that really
excited
scares
about
them or, makes some noise or something trying to catch them, then they're going to get sprayed.
They're omnivores too. They'll eat berries and that kind of stuff. They'll dig up grub worms. There's a variety of food that they eat. They're most active during dusk and dawn hours and not near as much during the day or night. They might be out some at night, but rarely in the daytime.
One thing I want to mention too is if people see like a fox or a raccoon or skunk, something like that, out in the daytime, that does not mean that they're sick or that they're rabid. It more than likely means that they're just trying to find food, or it's like spring and summer and they're trying to feed their babies and they're, hunting more food, because we get calls all the time. I saw a fox in my yard and I'm like, it's baby time. So unless an animal is really acting sick, like going in circles or looks sick, like it's got a bad cold or something, that would be like distemper. But, don't get close to them or anything, but that does not mean that they're rabid. This is our little screech owl named Moonshadow. We've had him a couple of years now. He has a wing issue that keeps him from being able to fly very well. He can just get off the ground little short distances. He is a gray phase screech owl. In this area, we have them come in. They're the red ones or the gray, and sometimes we get them that looks more brown. But he eats mice. He gets a little mouse every night. This is the smallest owl that we have in this area, and they will nest in boxes. Sometimes they'll nest in squirrel boxes people have put up if the hole is big enough for them to get in. And in hollow trees, they don't actually build a nest up in the tree. Look over in there, honey. You see?
Hi. How far can they turn his head? Can it go pretty far?
Yeah, he can turn it all the way to the back, but they can't.
Yeah, not swivel.
No, they can't take it all the way around. I tell the kids that their head would come off if they could swivel it all the way around.
Does he eat anything else other than mice?
No.
Just mice?
No. He gets occasional mealworms every once in a while, but
does he mostly stay awake at night or both?
Kind of both. Sometimes he'll start hollering at night, doing these little screech owl noises. You'll hear him, especially early, like in the early spring or late winter, early spring, because that would be their mating time. So I think he's calling, which we really don't know if it's a male or a female.
Screaming? They just screaming?
Yeah. We have had owls before that would lay an egg, when we had them, so we would know that was a female. But so far he hasn't laid an egg, so we call him a he. But I think they're very cute. The little so things cute. on his ears that look like ears up here, those are called ear tufts. And he can lay them straight down. And when he gets really upset, or if he's trying to hide, he gets real skinny. Those ear tufts lay way back, and he'll be just as skinny as can be. He won't be all poofed out. They're kind of funny looking when you see them, and in their defense hiding mode.
I mean, that sounds still cute.
It is. They are, and they're cute. They're cute little birds. Yeah, we get calls a good bit from people saying, I found a baby owl. And if it's like in the middle of the wintertime, I'm like, there's not baby owls right now. So we know before we get it or whatever that it's going to be a screech owl. But yeah, it's when they're babies, they're teeny tiny little cotton ball things.
That's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
We have 4 kinds of owls in South Carolina. The one you saw earlier, which is an eastern screech owl. This is a barred owl. We have great horned owls, and we have barn owls. First thing about them, eye color. 2 of them have brown eyes, and 2 of them have golden yellow looking eyes. The ones that are brown eyed hunt totally in the darkness. The ones with yellow eyes hunt more dusk and dawn and not at night. They can see really, really well. They find their food by it's kind of like echolocation in a bat. Their ears, one ear is farther forward than the other, and one ear is higher than the other. So the sound gets to one ear quicker than the other one, and they can rotate to see where the sound came the quickest, so they can pinpoint it. So they do that for left and right and up and down. Once they get the noise gets them to the right place, then they can see the animal and go after it, because they hunt by sound rather than sight. Somebody asked earlier, one of you, about how far can they turn their head. They can actually turn it 270 degrees, so it's about 135 each way. This particular bird came in with this wing was caught in a barbed wire fence, and it just mangled that wing where it couldn't be repaired, so he can't be released, is why we have them. You can see how big their talons are. That's what they use to kill their prey, and when they grab, they go right into the vital organs. I mean, they can squeeze good. The hairs there are called nictile bristles. They feel the bird when he goes to eat. He can feel with those feathers. They say when this one, the call for this one, they say it sounds like they're saying, "Who cooks for you?" All the owls make different sounds, but this one actually goes, "Whoo, whoo, 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 whoo." And they say how they got "who cooks for you" out of that, I don't know, but we can hear them here talking back and forth to one another. And sometimes a lone owl will talk to the ones in the cages and they'll answer. It's a great horned owl. It's one of the 4 species we have in the area. And we talked about earlier, this is a yellow-eyed one, so he hunts more at dusk and dawn than at dark. When they do that, I don't even know what you call it. It's either a sign that they're overheating or they're excited, and I'm sure he's a little bit of both at this point. Having round pupils like we do, where you can look that way and look that way without moving your head, their eyes are cone-shaped and they're fixed in the socket, so they can't move their eyes. So if they want to look over there, they physically have to move their whole head to where they want to look. One of his eyes is not as good a vision as it should be.
How do you test vision in an owl?
We actually send most of our birds up to Carolina Raptor Center, and they do exams and stuff, and sometimes we'll send them back. But we have a vet also that we deal with in Anderson that does a lot of our wildlife, and he checked this one out. I guess raptor is any bird of prey, so
Okay.
one that would kill things. We have hawks, owls, falcons, kites, I don't know what else. Vultures are birds of prey, eagles, and we take in all birds of prey.